Afternoon everyone, happy Sunday and welcome to my craft room. I'm going to start a couple of minutes early today, only a couple, because hubby has just headed out with his edge trimmer, and I know that means that very soon he'll be making a horrible noise outside my craft room, so hopefully we'll get as much done as we can before he gets to this part of the lawn. Beautiful day here in sunny southern Tasmania. Just got back from holidays, so we had a couple of weeks in New Zealand, so that's probably why you haven't seen me. You've been watching, you haven't seen me for a little while, but I'm back now. Just bear with me while I get my computer to catch up. I hope everyone's having a nice weekend and enjoying whatever they happen to be doing. Won't let me share. Okay, cancel that. Here, I've got that one. Okay, got a couple of people on already. Hi everyone. Who have we got? Margie. Hey Margie. Have you missed me? And Kathy. Hey Kathy. Okay, so going to be doing a couple of cards today, featuring the beautiful friendship stamp set, which is actually from the annual catalogue. It's a bit of a sleeper as far as I was concerned. I didn't really take much notice of it until I started to see some of these beautiful cards appearing on Pinterest and demonstrator websites and things like that. So I thought, hey, I better give this one a bit of a go. So the one I'm going to be making for you, I'm going to make a couple of cards today. This one here is the first one, where I'm actually using what they call a masking technique, which is new to me, but anyone who's been doing cards for a while has probably done a lot of it. But anyway, it's new to me, so I thought I'd show you how I've used masking in this particular card. So what masking actually is a way of partially stamping so that it looks like images are tucked in behind other images without actually having to go over them separately. But anyway, I'll make this one for us first. So this one's it's basics card base. I'll just get my pre-cut cards here, pop that aside. It's a pre-cut card base in inches. It's 8 1/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches, scored in the middle to make a card base. Then I've got a layer of the new Rococo Rose cardstock, which is going to go on there, and that's cut to that's like a 1/4 inch smaller all round, so it's 3 7/8 by 5 1/2, and then I've got my stamping layer as well in the Very Vanilla, which is an 1/8 inch smaller all round, so it's 3 3/4 by what would that be, 5 and lost it completely. Anyway, yeah, so a little bit smaller again. I'll put the measurements on in the comments if anyone's interested, but they're fairly standard layer sizes. So I'll just pop these aside and we'll start with our little stamping layer. You can see here I've got my foam mat underneath here. Because this stamp set is actually a photopolymer, I find that it stamps better when you've got a foam mat underneath. So you can either use, this is a foam mat I had from somewhere else, or you can just use the foam mat out of your Stamparatus if you've got one of those. Hey everyone, hey Michelle, thanks for joining me. Oh, you're cleaning, you're good. I'm avoiding that. I've decided that I had a week off after getting, a few days off after getting back from New Zealand, and I had to sleep. Sleep was more important to me than cleaning. Anyway, so as I say, we've got this layer of Very Vanilla, and I'm going to start with, we've got some lovely subtle colours here. This is my Blushing Bride. So I'm going to put the main image in Blushing Bride. Here we go. So this is the main sort of double flower image here. So I'm going to pop that in Blushing Bride. Smack bang, pretty much smack bang in the middle of our card. About there. Okay. There we go. So it's a lovely sort of subtle pink sort of almost a burnt pink colour. Hey Marie, thanks for joining me. Oh, and Hannah, hi. Okay, so that was Blushing Bride. So then we've got two little sort of flower centres here. There's a large one for the large flower and a smaller one for the small flower. And what I'm going to do those in, I'm going to do that in Rococo Rose. If I can get this open. Swap between old style stamp pads and new style, you get yourself a bit confused. So the big one is there, so I'm going to just stamp that. So I think they look nice when you stamp this one if you use just a shade darker when you do the centres, so they sort of stand out a little bit. So with the Blushing Bride, the Rococo Rose is perfect. And then one for the little flower as well. There we go. Just give them a bit of a wipe off. So here's where we can start doing our masking, and what we do when we mask is we basically cover over the image so that we can stamp around it without overlapping it. And so to do that, what I've done, and I've done this previously, is I stamped out the image. See, that's our main flower image here, just in white cardstock, and I did it in black, in the black ink, so the edges of it were lovely and really well defined. And you just basically cut it out. So just fussy cut that. You can see, just fussy cut that out around the edge of your image, and basically you can use that as a little shield, a little mask for when you're doing your later stamping. I've also done the other smaller rose, smaller flower from the set, so I'm going to use that to mask as well. So what to do with this one is this cute little, what I just showed you, the one I showed you, this little cute one here. I'm going to do that in Rococo Rose. I'm going to sneak it, so I'll leave my mask there. Oh, great, wrong side. Not paying attention. Spent a lovely half an hour cleaning all my stamp blocks with eucalyptus oil, so they're all lovely and clean at the moment, but my craft room smells like eucalyptus, but that's not a bad thing, I don't think. So I'm positioning my mask, my little protector here, and I will stamp one rose up here. Okay, so you can see it sort of looks like it's tucked in behind, and I'm going to do another one just over here, peeking out to the side. There we go. So when I lift that image up, you will see that it looks like these two little roses are actually peeking out from behind the main one, just like that. I've got a bit of a smudge there. I've been stamping all day, all afternoon. I've got ink everywhere. Okay, so just to continue the theme, I'm going to pop that back. And I'm going to put, what am I going to put next? We've got this beautiful hydrangea in the set. It's a beautiful multi-flowered sort of bloom there. I've got my, if I can find it, where is it? I've got my Seaside Spray, which is another one of the new colours here. I'm going to do that beautiful hydrangea in a nice blue. I think hydrangeas will come in, they naturally come in blue or pink, but I think they're quite pretty. So I'm actually going to stamp this one off. I don't want too much of the blue. And I'm going to pop that one up in the far right corner, up here. There we are. And again in the bottom. I mustn't have cleaned that up very much, cleaned that off properly. It's got a little bit of pink underneath it, but that's not a problem. And put another one here. Oh, stamp it off. And put another one down here. There we go. Give that a clean. On my chamois here, where you can't see it. Anyway, so that one's clean now. So, while we're going, we're on a bit of a roll. I've got my Blackberry Bliss, which is one of my favourite colours. There's also a lovely, in the set, there's a little sort of bloom that looks a little bit like a lilac. If I can find it, here it is. And I think that's just beautiful in sort of borders and just to highlight sort of the edges of things. So I'm going to pop him in this one as well. So this is in Blackberry Bliss. Okay, again, keeping our little mask in place. Pop the first one. Oops, just moved a little bit. Oh. Pop the first one there. And then another one just coming up underneath it a little bit, curling around the edge. There we go. So that's quite nice as well. And I'll do another one. Put that in there, and another one. Just up there. There we go. So we're building up some lovely layers here. It looks like it's sort of quite 3D sort of effect happening. Okay, so that's that one. So what else have we got? We've got some leaves. Yeah, so what we'll do is some leaves. So what I thought I might do is show you, oh, I'll pop this second one in because I want the leaves to look like they're coming in from behind this second one. So here I've got my other little flower that I've fussy cutted out, and I'll pop that over there. Then I get the leaves, which are here. So we've got a 2 leaf and a 3 leaf. So what I'm going to do is pop the what's my sea, here we go, my soft sea foam. Pop that there. I'm going to use the 3 leaf one there. Just position our little masks again. We'll have one coming up behind there like that. And another one coming there like that. Just sort of randomly around. And coming out the bottom there. And if I move our little stencil, put that there, have another one. Oh, everything's moved now. Another one coming out the bottom. Okay, so that's quite nice. And then I'll swap over to the 2, and I'm going to bring in another colour. I think this is about the most colours I've ever used. Another colour, I've got my mint macaron here. I'm going to do the 2 flower, the 2 leaf in that, and pop that around as well. So, and this is quite, you can sort of stamp this one off it if you like. It's quite strong, but I think it adds a nice highlight. I'm going to pop him there. Oops. And another one up here. And another one down here. And I think that'll probably do. Okay, so how's that? How do we think that is, everyone? Just watching. Oh, hi May. Thanks for joining me. Hope you're feeling better. I noticed you haven't been well during the week. Anyway, so that's, I think that's the stamping there. So yeah, so basically the masking is really great because, as I say, it helps you create that illusion that that elements of your images are popping out from behind, which I think is it's quite nice. It just adds a bit of interest to your cards. I have seen people do this with sticky notes so that they actually stick down, which is probably great, but I didn't have sticky notes big enough to do these particular, well, I hadn't small enough to do that one, but not big enough to do this one, so I had to sort of go with cardstock there. But that's quite sweet. I like that. I'll just finish this card off. I'm going to actually pop it through the subtle 3D embossing folder. I like this card. I think it's got sort of like an antique sort of look to it, a sort of old-fashioned, especially using the very vanilla. cardstock. So we're popping it through this with this embossing folder after you've stamped it. Also gives it that a sort of a textured look, almost like linen. I won't bring my big shot in because I don't have enough room, but just bear with me for a second. Oh, I've dropped everything. I'll just pop that through, and I don't know that you're going to see the effect I mean when I bring it back in, because I don't know that resolution's quite that good with the with my iPhone, but if you've got the folder yourself, try it. It really gives things a lovely sort of a as I say, an old-fashioned linen look. I'm not sure that you'll see that in the light, but it really sort of changes it up a little bit. Just to finish this one off, I think, like with the other card, I put some gold emboss here. You could probably do that before you put it through the Big Shot machine, but it worked okay last time, and I'll see how it goes this time. So I'll just do my embossing buddy here, and I'm going to do it in gold because I think it helps it stand out, because it is going to overlap our image a little bit. I'm going to use this pretty one here, which is I Love Our Beautiful Friendship, which I think is a lovely sentiment. And there are some people watching that I could really say that I really think that that's true. I've got some good friends that I've made through my little team and through Stampin' Up. So this one's for you guys. So I've got my Versamark ink, and I will just pop that down, and as I say, it's going to overlap the leaves a little bit, but I don't think that matters because we're going to be doing it in gold, so it's going to stand out quite well. I'll bring in my gold embossing powder and my little folder here. Hey Angie, thanks for joining me, and thanks for sharing. I'm just embossing that. There we go. So forgive the noise. Just emboss that. Just heat that up. It's the best magic there is. Embossing, heat embossing. I think it's just amazing how it turns something fairly ordinary into something very, very special. And there we are, that's just about gone. There we go. So we've got some special bling happening there, so I'll just get rid of this. Okay, and so it's just a matter of finishing that one up. I'm going to pop it onto our, get rid of that, our Rococo Rose layer, and then our very vanilla card base. Now if I can find some glue or some snail or something, here we go, some snail, that'll do. And just pop that on there. Base like that. There we go. So that one's mostly done. I could put some on the original. I put some gold, some jewels on there, so you can do that as well. Stamping on the inside. I don't know that I need a sentiment inside as such, because this one sort of covers everything. We could put some, you could put, like I did with one of my cards, I put the, where is it? I hadn't actually thought about the inside of this one. We did the Hydrangea, and then some of the Blushing Bride. So just stamp that up. I'm going to stamp that off, maybe twice. No, just the once. I'm going to stamp that off and pop it in the corner. Make sure the flowers are the right way up, if there's such a thing. There we go. So just a little bit of highlight of Hydrangea in the corner there. And maybe some of our leaves as well. Though I don't think they look like Hydrangea leaves, but hey, poetic license with stamping. So just my soft sea foam, stamp that off. And then, so this is really, 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 really subtle here. Maybe a little bit too subtle. But anyway, we can see how that comes up. Now that I've started. Yeah, so that's just a real whisper of something in the middle there. But otherwise it's left blank inside. Okay, so that's the first card I was going to make for you today. So as I say, there's masking there that gives that illusion of a 3D sort of building up layering effect there. The second one I'm going to make, I haven't got an example for you because I made it yesterday and my mother promptly stole it to give to my sister-in-law for her birthday, so I'm going to be making it from memory. We're going to be making, so bear with me, I'm going to try and remember how I made it, but obviously it must have been a nice card because, as I say, Mum stole it as soon as she saw it. Oh, with this other one, they're very subtle colours there, but I have done one here, the same sort of setup with the masking. These are far different colours. There's Real Red, Cajun Craze, Cherry Cobbler, the Rococo Rose, and Rich Raspberry. So as you can see, that's the colours stand out so much more. So backing this one, I thought, when I back this one, I thought I'd back it with the red. You can see there, the red sort of brings out the red of the flower, and then onto the very vanilla behind. So that's quite different and quite bright with the colours there. But you see, it's just as lovely. Okay, second card. So as I say, haven't got one to show you because it was stolen. But let's start. So with this one, I'm going to be using the Beautiful Friendship again. And I have this is a gorgeous grape card base with a Granny Apple green layer. Same again, that's 1/4 of an inch smaller than the card base all the way around. And then I've got a Whisper White layer for the stamping, which is only 1/8 of an inch again. So you've got the big border, border around, and then a smaller one, just so that you've got the green poking out only a tiny bit. And then I've got a white panel for inside as well, but we'll come back to that one. So we'll get our stamping done. So we'll keep our white panel here. Now I've got to remember. I hate it when she stole it. I was going to make it. It's very nice. Anyway, so we start with some gorgeous grape, and actually I've got to remember. Yeah, and a scrap of Whisper White. So start with the gorgeous grape. You get your main image and stamp that. And I'm going to stamp this one off so the gorgeous grape isn't quite as strong for the first one. There we go. So I'm just stamp that anywhere on your Whisper White because we are going to cut this one out. So there we go. So that's stamped off gorgeous grape. Then I'm going to get my 2 little flower centres again, and this time I'm going to do them in full strength. As I say, I think the centres look good, just slightly stronger than the flower, which is often, I suppose, the way it is in nature. So there. So that's our images there. So I'm going to cut this one out, as I said. Just bear with me. I've got my favourite scissors. And we'll do some cutting. Now you'll notice with this one the image sort of disappears in places. So you just have to sort of keep going with the image, sort of pretend that you've got sort of the natural sort of shape of the flower and sort of work with that. So just around the edge. Nearly halfway. Sing you a song, tell you about the disaster that was our holiday. I love New Zealand, but this time she wasn't kind. Well, it wasn't actually New Zealand that wasn't kind. We had flights cancelled both ways, so I didn't actually catch any of the flights that I'd actually booked. I ended up 7 hours waiting from in Hobart Airport, waiting for the connect, and then a different connection from Sydney to Auckland. And then on the way home we had a 5-hour delay, so we got home quite late. So that wasn't fun. And then we had a rent-a-car breakdown on the last Saturday in the middle of nowhere, which wasn't fun as well, sort of waiting for them to send a tow. So everybody wanted to dodge responsibility, so we sort of waiting for everyone to decide who was going to send us a tow to the middle of nowhere. So if anyone wants a recommendation for a rental car company in New Zealand, I can recommend one not to go for, but I won't say that here just in case. But anyway, yes, I was very pleased for the first time. I was very pleased to get home from New Zealand this time. Okay, so we've got our little flower cut out. So as I say, that's once stamped off Gorgeous Grape with direct Gorgeous Grape for the centres there. So we'll just put that one aside. Okay, same thing as with the other card. We're going to put our Hydrangea in on this one. So I'm going to be putting it here and here just to give that sort of effect, background effect. And again, we're going to use Gorgeous Grape. Not very imaginative with this one. I'm just going Gorgeous Grape. So the first one, pop it up in this corner. And as I say, I'm trying to remember how I did this card before. It is actually on my business page if you'd like to have a look at the original before it was stolen by my mother. I suppose I should be flattered, really, that she liked it so much. And we'll pop that one there. There we go. So that's just straight Gorgeous Grape there. Now I'm really going by memory now. Okay, so eventually that is going to sit in there on dimensionals. Got to remember what else I did. Okay, let's just go with it. I know I used the little sort of lilac, so we'll do that next. Get rid of that one. Don't think we need that one anymore. And again, I think I just kept it to Gorgeous Grape, but let's see. So our flower's going to sit there eventually, and we want these to come up the side. So bear with me. Bit of extra ink there that we don't want. Okay, so I'm going to put them coming up the side there. So that one there, just move that out of the way, has to be roughly there. And then I'm going to put a slightly lighter one without re-inking up there. And then, from memory, I'm going to put another one. Let's put that back in place so we can see where we're going. Another one coming out there. And there. Okay. off. And you're going to say too much gorgeous grape, and I'd have to tend to agree with you. So let's do some granny apple green leaves. So again, I'm going to do some two leaves and some 3 leaves. So I'm going to do the 3 leaves straight onto our stamping. So again, positioning it where we want. I'm going to pop that one there. I'm going to pop. Okay, bring another one down here. Yep. And then another one off to the side there. Okay, so that sort of green really lifts the, takes a bit of that, the same old of the gorgeous grape out of it a little bit. So with our 2 leaf, which is on the other side, I'm actually going to do them and cut them out. If I can find my Whisper White, I'm going to cut out a couple of those and put them in as well. So I'll just do 2, maybe 3. We'll see how we go. I'll do 3. I'm going to cut these out. Nice simple shape here, nothing too fussy about this. And it's really only the top of them that you're going to see, so you don't have to do too much at the bottom, because that's going to be tucked in and behind. So we'll do that, just cut those. Got a bit of an ant attack happening in my craft room at the moment. You can tell the weather's warming up, thankfully, but with it comes ant attacks. So if you see any little visitors, I don't know that the resolution is quite good enough for you to see them as such, but yes, I'm killing them regularly, which sounds terrible, but yeah, it's definitely ant season. Just cut this one. Two. Do another one. Yeah, do another one. Oh, that's asking for trouble. It's about as exciting as watching grass grow, but apologies for there. Okay, so these ones that I've actually cut out, I'm going to pop them, sneak them in under there, so you can see where I'm coming at from there. So they actually look like they're, you know, it's like masking without masking, isn't it? So they actually look like they're snucked in over the top of the flowers. And how's that? So that's, I think that's quite pretty. If I could remember what the other one looked like, I think it looked something like that. Yeah, I think. Anyway, let's put it all together and see how we go. So I might just grab some glue. If anyone's got another device that they could look at and have a look at my business page and tell me what the original card looked like, I'd much appreciate it, whether I've missed anything out. Oh my god, I've used far too much glue there. Just bear with me. Oh, saved. And then this one. And then this one. Hope they're the right spots. That one needs to be a bit higher. Push this one up a little bit. There we go. Feels like it needs something in there, but I'm not quite sure what was on the other one. Pull this up a little bit. That one still needs to come up a little bit more. Oh. There we are. That's about right, I'd say. Okay, so I'll put some dimensionals, get some dimensionals and pop that one up on that. Just using our ends, never waste any of your dimensionals. Make sure you use all the edges as well. That one's popped over here out of my sight. So there we go. Let's pop a few around there. One more. Go. That's cool. I'm sure there was something else on the card. This is terribly frustrating. Oh gosh, there was definitely something else. I had a little bow. I can put that on there. Ah, and the sentiment down here. So the sentiment I used was the larger one. It was the birthdays are the best days. And just to give that a little bit away from the gorgeous grape, I think I used the granny apple green. And down in here, but I think actually this time I've left a bit more room at the top there, so I'm going to put it in the top left rather than the bottom right. I'll pop it there. There we go. Yep, I like that. And then I also had a little bit of gorgeous granny apple green ribbon. It's the retired ribbon from, I think, last year's celebration. Bear with me for a second. This one here, which is lovely. So I'll pop a little bit of ribbon on this one, just in a bow down here, so it looks like it's holding our flowers together. Oh, get the pin out. Pin doesn't want to come out. Okay. Green bow and green sentiment. Thank you, Michelle. It's frustrating when you can't remember something you just did yesterday, but that's the way of it at the moment. I'll just do a little bow. Actually, I think I'm going to do a double bow. I might do a double bow just to give it a little bit more oomph. So I've actually got 2 layers of the ribbon. Hopefully that will behave itself. There. Come on. It's a bit big. Sorry, doing it again. That's better. Cut that. Myself a little pin visitor. There we go. Cut that there. And the same there. So you could use any ribbon you like. I just happen to really love this one from, it's like last year's celebration, I think. I loved it so much I bought several lots of it and ended up giving some of it away to customers and things. So anyway, just fan that out so it looks there. There's a bow. I actually did a bow, so we'll pop that in down here. How's that? get a dot and pop that on there. Just another one up under there. There we go. Oh, that's sweet. I like that. I think I actually prefer that way than the other one that I did. So Mum didn't get the best one. I made the best one. Okay, so I'll just layer this one up again with some snail. I normally use glue, but snail's a lot quicker for videos, I think. There we go. So that layer of green's just going to lift that additionally. And pop that onto our card base. Oh, come on, have I run out? There we go. Layer that onto there. And that's the outside done. Now I did the inside of this one. I really, really liked the inside. I probably like the inside more than I like the outside, so I will do that again. So there's the outside of our card. I think that's quite sweet. I think I've popped a couple of silver jewels on there just to give a little bit of highlight, and even put some Stella, some wink of Stella on the inside of those, but I think that's quite sweet. Okay, so we'll do the inside. I think with the inside I went a bit crazier than I did with the outside, but let's have a look. So we've got our little rose. I've got to remember what I actually did. I think I used the hydrangea. So we use the hydrangea. Get rid of our sentiment. Our hydrangea, and again with the we used the grapefruit grove, and I think I stamped everything off. Yes, I did. I stamped everything off so it wasn't too crazy on the inside. I'll put our hydrangea there, and there. And then I think I bought in some balmy blue, which I think goes beautiful with Gorgeous Grape. So just some balmy blue ink with this little flower here. And just pop that in just there. I might stamp that off. Is that balmy blue? Yes. Just stamp that off a little bit. That's a bit rich, that one. And then bring in our little... Where are you? Bring in our little lilac. Where are you, little lilac? Probably on a block somewhere. No. Okay, where are you? Oh, there's too much stuff happening here. Ah, no, that's not you. Oh, gosh. Have I put it somewhere else? No. Where is it? I'm sorry guys, I've lost it. I really wanted it too. It's not there, it's not there, it's not there. Eek! It's not a good start. It's not there. It's definitely not there. In here, no. Am I missing a block? Got that one, got that one, got that one. Oh well, we won't use that, we'll use our little buds instead. We haven't used those yet. So again, sticking to the Gorgeous Grape. I have to find that little one, that was my favourite bit. Anyway, Gorgeous Grape to put some of these little buds. I'm going to use full strength just to make them stand out a little bit from the hydrangeas. Stamp it off there and put one there. And then we'll do some leaves. That's not as nice without the lilac. I hope I can find that. I hate it when you lose stamps. Anyway, all good. We'll do some leaves again with our Granny Apple Green. I have to pack some stuff away here. This is out of control. Some Granny Apple Green. Again, stamp it off. Okay, that's probably enough on the inside. Wish I could find a photo, because the other one had the little lilac ones coming up the side there. But anyway, you can imagine that, which was much preferable. Anyway, so that's one. So I'll just stick this into the card. I'm going to go mad trying to find that stamp that I've lost. Pop that inside. And it's done. So if you wanted to put a sentiment in there, you could pop it in there. Oh, ink splodge. Okay, so that's birthdays are the best days, with the inside stamped as well. So today we have stamped 2 cards using the made 2 cards using the beautiful friendship stamp set. And I honestly think that's one of the nicest from the annual catalogue. As I say, a bit of a sleeper. I didn't actually notice it until I started seeing all the lovely cards that were being made by other demonstrators on Pinterest and everything. But it's really nice. As you say, you can fussy cut. The shapes aren't too complicated. You can fussy cut them out quite easily, mask them quite easily, and you've got some beautiful designs there as well. So very, very worthwhile adding to your stash. I think you will use it again and again and keep coming back to it for many years to come. I know I definitely will. Anyway, so I hope everyone's enjoyed that. It could be stuck anywhere. Michelle, yes, I know. I'm going to have a bit of a clean out and see. I hate to think I've lost it. I'd have to buy it all over again if I've lost it, because it was my favourite bit. Anyway, so really a lovely stamp set. Give it a go. See what you come out with. I'd love to see what you come up with shared to my business page. If you don't have a demonstrator and would love to talk to me about Stampin' Up, please feel free to contact me. Sign up for my newsletter and various classes and things that I have going. But as I say, all on my business page. I'll pop there and have a bit of a look. Anyway, have a great Sunday, everyone, or rest of Sunday, and a good week next week. And I will catch you all next weekend. Okay, bye.